Let's prepare on moment distribution method. So today we are going to see about the moment distribution method. Okay. So in the previous class I told you that we'll be seeing stiffness matrix method. But before going into the matrix method, we need some basic concepts that has to be known in this moment distribution, because we'll be applying these formulas in there. So it is better to study this and we can go for the matrix method. Okay. So here first in the moment distribution method, these two factors are very important. So one is your carryover moment and another one is carryover factor. Okay, so this carryover moment is what means in any beam or any structure, if a moment is applied at one end means it will carry some moment to the another end. Okay, so it is based on the supports that is present there, based on whether it is a fixed support or hinge support. So based on that it will be differing. So this carryover moment from one support to another support is called as carryover moment. Okay, so if the direction of the applied moment and the carryover moment, if it is same means it will be positive, if it differs means it will be negative. Okay, and the carryover factor is, it is nothing but it is the ratio, that is how much amount of the moment is actually carryover. Okay, so carryover moment divided by applied moment. Okay, so if in the applied moment, if we are applying 50 kilonewton and in the carryover place, that is on the other end, if you are experiencing only 25 kilonewton means, then your carryover factor will be 25 by 50, so it is 1 by 2. So your carryover factor will be 1 by 2 or 0.5, like that it will be differing. Okay, so this is the main concept, carryover moment and carryover factor. So now we will be seeing these things for some different types of frames. So here in the first case, when the far end is fixed, okay, so always you have to apply, you have to take this end, that is the moment where we are applying. Okay, so we are applying a moment here. So at the far end it is a fixed end. Okay, so always in a fixed end the moment will be acting like this direction only, from the downwards, that is in the anti-clockwise direction, and the moment applied is also anti-clockwise. So here the carryover moment is m by 2, so there is no negative here, so it is m by 2, so half will be carryover to the fixed support, and fortunately the carryover factor will be 1 by 2 only, because we are transferring half. Okay, the next case is the far end is hinged. So when the far end is hinged, it cannot carry over any moment to that end. Okay, so it is m is equal to 0, therefore carryover factor is also 0 only. And the third one is the cantilever beam. So here at the free end, if you apply a moment, actually here the moment will be acting like this only. Okay, so in the cantilever beam, but we are considering it as acting like this, so only this negative comes. Okay, so here this carryover moment will be minus m, therefore the carryover factor is also minus 1. And then here I have given a cantilever beam only, but with the internal hinge in the middle. Okay, so if this is the case means the moment can't be transferred or carry over to the fixed end. Okay, so here it should be 0 only, because a hinge is fixed there, so it can't transfer the moment to the other part of the structure. Okay, the next case, if you see here, a roller support is there, it is a propped cantilever like thing with the internal hinge. Okay, here the moment will be carry over, because in the roller support here a reaction is also there, no, so vertical reaction is also there, so due to this vertical reaction a moment will be carry over, but not due to the moment we are applying. Okay, so here this m carry over, that is at the fixed support, it will be a by b, a and b is the distance before and after the hinge, so it is a by b by m, and also the carryover factor will be a by b. Okay, so this is the different types, so that we can conclude how much amount of moment is transferred to the other end. Okay, so this concept will be applying in the questions. The next thing we are going to see is the stiffness factor and relative stiffness. Okay, so stiffness factor is denoted as K. So here based on the stiffness factor only we will be solving this problems. Okay, so it is what means, it is just the moment which must be applied at any joint to produce the unit rotation without translation. Okay, so that moment only we call it as stiffness or stiffness factor, but usually this will be expressed in the terms of E, I and L. Whereas the relative stiffness means it will be expressed in the terms of I and L only. We don't use the E factor there. Okay, so this also we'll be seeing for different cases. So if you take this case means when the far end is fixed or continuous, that is in the case of propped cantilever, without translation, that is deflection is not there, that means the moment will be 4 EI by L. Okay, so the K value is 4 EI by L. So these values are very, very important because you will be repeatedly using these values in the stiffness matrix, flexibility matrix and slope deflections also. Okay, so the first value to be studied is 4 EI by L when the far end is fixed. When the far end is hinged means it is 3 EI by L. Okay, when the far end is free, stiffness will be 0 only. Okay, so these three values are very, very important. When you see the relative stiffness, it will be expressed in terms of I by L alone. Okay, so just remember that this K has to be divided by 4. Just for remembering only I am telling. If you divide this by 4, you will be getting EI by L. Okay, so neglect the E there. Do the same thing for all the three formulas. You will be getting the relative stiffness. So you will be getting I by L for the first case. For the second case, far and hinged, you will be getting 3 by 4 I by L. And for the third case, it is 0 only. And there is a fourth case. Here far end is fixed, but with displacement, if that is mentioned, means it should be EI by L and the relative stiffness is I by 4L. Okay, and then we can go for the distribution factor now. So this is only the main concept of this moment distribution theorem. So here the distribution factor is nothing but it is the stiffness at any joint divided by the summation of all the stiffness. Okay, so the stiffness of any member, it's not joint, it's a member. Okay, so if 2 or 3 members are connected to a particular joint means if you are taking a stiffness for all the members, you should take one member stiffness on the top and divided by the summation of all the stiffness, or either it may be moment by the summation of the moment also. Okay, so we can see with the example so that it will be very clear for us. So if you take this question, there are 3 members connected to a single point. Okay, so OA, OB, OC, like the 3 members are given, and the question is to find the rotation at the rigid joint. So rigid joint means here O is the rigid joint. At there we have to find the rotation. Okay, and you have to find the moment at the supports. So support means at A, B and C we want to find the supports moment. So the idea which we studied in this moment distribution, no, so this we will be applying and we'll be finding the rotation and moment here. So if we see the structure means it's OA and OB are actually OA and OC are actually fixed supports and OB is a hinged support. Okay, so if we see the structure, you can identify that. Okay, we have studied already when the farther end is fixed means K is 4 EI by L. When the farther end is hinged means it is 3 EI by L. So the same thing is only applied here. Okay, so we got OA. For OA, K1, K2 and K3 we got. Okay, so the summation of the K values, that is your stiffness value, is 4 plus 3 plus 4, it is 11 EI by L. So we got the K values separately and also the summation of K values. Okay, so one question is what to find the rotation at the fixed support. Okay, so normally stiffness is equal to M by theta. We know this already. We know that stiffness is equal to load by deflection or moment by rotation. These both formulas can be applied. Okay, so here we have M by theta. Why means we need theta at that point. That is the question here. So we are applying that concept here. So we are writing here K is equal to M by theta. And we can also write like this. Summation of K is equal to summation of M by theta. Okay. So if you expand this, that is theta is equal to summation of M by summation of K. In here the summation of M is nothing but it is the moment at that point, at that rigid support. So we can take it as M, because in the question they have not given any support reactions, any loadings and nothing is given. Only a moment is applied like that we can assume and we can take it as M. Okay, and the K value we have found out, so it is 11 EI by L. So when you do that, it will be M L by 11 EI. So this is the rotation that occurs at the rigid support at O. Okay, so this is the answer for the first question. The second question is what we want to find the moments at the supports A, B and C. So now we want to apply this distribution factor concept here. Okay, so if you take moment at OA, okay, moment at OA and moment at A are different. So remember that OA means we are taking from the support. MA means it is the moment at that fixed end. Okay, so when we are considering the distribution factor, we will be getting the moment from that point only. Okay, after that you have to apply the concept of the carryover moment idea. Then only you'll be getting the moments at that supports. So first let us find the moment from the rigid support. So if you apply the distribution factor value for MOA, okay, so for MOA what is the distribution factor? It is K1 by sigma K. K1 is what? It is 4 EI by L and sigma K is 11 EI by L. So when you divide it, you will be getting 4 by 11. So that will be your distribution factor. Okay. Similarly for the OB, it will be 3 by 11 and for OC it is again 4 by 11. Okay, so just I am dividing K value by sigma K in each cases. Okay, so here I have directly written 4 by 11 into sigma M is M. So 4 by 11 into M. Okay, so now just hide this right side portion. Don't see that. First we can find this portion alone. Okay, and next case is MOB. So here it is 3 by 11 into M. So we got MOB also, and for OC it is again 4 by 11 into M. So now we got all the three moments with respect to the joints. So now actually we want to find at the supports. Okay, so now we can apply the concept of that carryover moment. We know that the support at A and support at C are fixed support and B is a hinged support. Okay, so in carryover moment what we studied, if the farther end is fixed means the moment carryover will be half, that is carryover factor is half. Okay, so here 4 by 11 into M divided by 2 means it is 2 by 11 into M. So we got MA. Okay, and then MC is also fixed support. No, so there also it is half only. So there also it is 2 by 11 into M. And what about the MB? It is a hinged support. If it is a hinged support means there is no carryover moment and carryover factor is also 0. So the moment at B also will be 0 only. So now we got the answer for MA and MC also. And another important note to be remembered here is the summation of the distribution factor. No, it will be always 1. So if you are doing any mistake means you can just identify with this value. Okay, so here if you see means we are getting 4 by 11 into M, 3 by 11 into M and 4 by 11, don't consider M, 4 by 11, 3 by 11 and 4 by 11. When you sum it up you will be getting 11 by 11, it is 1. Okay, so always when you add the distribution factor value you will be getting 1 only. So now there is another small example. The previous example we saw, now that is itself a big questions only. Okay, so there are many examples for moment distribution method, but it takes more time. That is, it is all of nearly 10 mark questions like that. That won't be asked in the objective questions. A simple ideology that has been applied now from these concepts. So like that only they will be asking in the exam. So let us see some small problems now. So here a prop cantilever beam is subjected to rotation theta at the prop. Okay, so at the prop and a rotation is applied. Find the reaction at the prop. Reaction is asked there. Okay, so now we can use this concept, that is the moment theorem, and we can find the prop reaction. So now we have drawn the prop cantilever beam here and a rotation is applied at the prop. So rotation will be occurring here. So it will be like this only. Okay, so the rotation will be occurring like this and a reaction I have drawn is RB. Okay, so now when this is the case, the moment applied is 4 EI theta by L. Okay, so always remember this value again and again. We will be using it in the slope deflection and matrix method, everything. Okay, so whenever you take the rotation where you are applying, it will be 4 EI theta by L. Okay, because we are assuming all these structure as a fixed support and only we are applying these formulas. Okay, and whenever you are considering the deflection, it is 6 EI delta by L square. So these two values are very, very important. We will be using this again and again so that you will be thorough of that. Okay. So now here our problem is only with the rotation. So remember this 4 EI theta by L. So we are applying at the point where we actually need the answer. That is, we are finding the prop reaction. No. So there we are applying this value. So the farther end is what? It's a fixed end. So we know that when it is fixed, only half will be transferred there. So it is 2 EI theta by L at that end. Okay. So always remember, you apply the rotation at the direction where you need the value actually. Okay. So here we need the value at RB, and the RB only rotation is also applied. So always apply in this direction. Okay, so now we got the rotation at the 2 points and RB is a reaction at B. So now we can simply apply this formula, that is moment at A is equal to 0. So we will be getting 4 EI theta by L. Everything is in anti-clockwise direction, so you can directly sum it up, 2 EI theta by L. So this is the two moment at the B and A, and at the RB reaction it is RB into L will be coming at the point A. So RB will be equal to minus 6 EI theta by L square. Here we can assume theta is equal to 1 and you can write the answer as this. Okay, so if the answer is given with theta means you can go for that option, or else they'll be giving, assuming this theta as 1, they'll be giving this answer. So you can go for this answer. And the third question is, here if a propped support of cantilever beam sinks by del, then what will be the reaction at the prop? Okay, so here in terms of deflection they have asked, and they asked to find the rotation. So we need both the values. We need deflection and also the rotation, because they have mentioned that it is deflecting like that. Okay, so as I told you before, the deflection value should take it as 6 EI del by L square. Okay, so this will be same in both the sides, whereas in the rotation only we will be taking half the value like that. Okay, so here 6 EI by del square, and here also it is 6 EI by del square. So here it is the cantilever beam with the propped end, the same thing only. Okay, and the next case is the rotation I have applied. So here I have applied 4 EI theta by L, and the farther end it is 2 EI theta by L. So now the question is what will be the rotation at the prop? So the rotation at the prop means at this point they are asking the prop theta value. Okay, so we can just sum it up these both. So at MB is equal to 0, you can add this both, that is the value due to deflection and the value due to the rotation. Okay, so here you can write minus 6 EI del by L square, because it is an anti-clockwise, and the next case also it is anti-clockwise only. So minus 4 EI theta by L is equal to 0. So you will be getting the one factor, that is this factor will be coming this side. No, so you will be getting minus 6 by 4 del by L. EI will get cancelled. So the answer is minus 1.5 del by L. So this is the rotation that is happening in the prop. Okay, so like this question, that is some 2 steps answer we'll be getting. No, so like this questions only they'll be asking in the exams. So when you're studying first time, it may look difficult. That is the rotation side, how we are taking anti-clockwise, clockwise, there you will get confusions, and this values also you'll get confusion. Definitely you will get confusions. Okay, so don't worry about that. Repeat some problems. Okay, so practice with some problems so that you'll be getting clear idea. And also when you are going to the next chapter, slope deflection, flexibility and stiffness matrix and all, you'll be repeatedly seeing this formula again and again so that you'll be getting clear. Okay, so don't worry, it will be easy when you practice more. Thank you, and keep watching for the next lecture on slope deflection method.